Welcome into the latest edition of Football Center with Goma. I'm glad to have you here with me on the show. It is a new week, which means we have plenty to talk about coming off an action-packed weekend. The Bundesliga was underway over the weekend. Match week 30 was on show. So this is what went down in the German top flight. Now on Friday, Freiburg played top four chasers Borussia Monchengladbach and shocked them by a 1-0 scoreline, perhaps denting their top four chances. Now, Bayer Leverkusen went up against Bayern Munich with the league leaders running rampant with a 4-2 scoreline. Leipzig and Paderborn played out a 1-1 draw. Düsseldorf and Hoffenheim had to settle for a 2-2 draw. Mainz defeated Frankfurt by 2-0, while Borussia Dortmund had to scrap out for a 1-0 victory over Hertha Berlin. Then on Sunday, Wolfsburg defeated Werder Bremen by 1-0. Union Berlin and Schalke played out a 1-1 draw, and Augsburg and Cologne had to settle for the points with a 1-1 draw as well. So, a pretty enthralling weekend in the Bundesliga. Plenty of goals. There was not a single game where no goal was scored. That's how interesting the Bundesliga is. Now, without wasting any more time, let's jump into the review of match week 30. First up, league leaders Bayern Munich marched on towards an 8th consecutive Bundesliga title after they defeated top four chasers Bayer Leverkusen by 4-2 on Saturday. Now, Bayer Leverkusen drew first blood, scoring within the first 10 minutes. However, three quick-fire first-half strikes from Serge Gnabry, Leon Goretzka, and Kingsley Coman did the job for the Bavarians before Robert Lewandowski put the game to bed with his 30th league strike of the season in the second half. Now, before the game could come to an end, Florian Wirtz became the Bundesliga's youngest ever goal scorer at the age of only 17 years old in 34 days, breaking the previous record set by Borussia Dortmund's Nuri Sahin at 17 years old and 2 months. However, that goal came as only a consolation, as on the day, Bayer Leverkusen were on the losing side. Now, with 4 games left to play and 7 points clear at the top of the table, there is absolutely no one stopping Bayern Munich. Bayer Leverkusen were the only team in the remainder of their fixture list with the abilities to test Bayern Munich. However, they overcame that obstacle and they are now marching on. It seemed to be a day of individual milestones. As aforementioned, Florian Wirtz became the Bundesliga's youngest ever goal scorer. Robert Lewandowski scored his 30th league goal of the season and is now 10 goals shy of Gerd Muller's record of 40 league goals in a single Bundesliga season. However, Thomas Muller set a new Bundesliga assist record of 20 league assists in a single Bundesliga season. He broke the previous one set by Kevin De Bruyne, which was at 19 league goals, which he set back in the 2014-15 season. Now, Thomas Muller has been in outrageous form since the arrival of Hansi Flick. Over the past couple of years, we've seen his form take a huge dip. However, since Hansi Flick was appointed as the new Bayern Munich manager, he has been a reformed player. He is no longer the goal poacher that we knew him to be, because now Robert Lewandowski has taken that spot. However, he has managed to reshape his game into being the master chef within the Bayern Munich squad. He sets up the players. He creates chances for the players. He makes sure that Robert Lewandowski has enough space to work his magic. And we are seeing the fruits of Thomas Muller's new style of play in this Bayern Munich squad. They're scoring a lot more goals and they're looking a lot more impressive attacking wise. Now, on the night, it was very good for Bayern Munich as they are marching on. However, for Bayer Leverkusen, it was a dent in their race for Champions League football next season. They failed to capitalize on Borussia Monchengladbach's defeat to SC Freiburg on Friday. You would think after looking at those results, they would go into the Bayern game with a different sort of mentality, saying we have to win this game. Well, they showed early signs, but however, that did not work out in the end. Bayern Munich's experience and quality was too much for them. Perhaps one talking point was the absence of 20-year-old phenomenon striker Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz was a doubt for this game. However, we saw him playing a little 1-2, touch and go drills before this game, and that gave a lot of people hope that we could see him in this game, as this is a very big game. This was a very big game for Bayer Leverkusen. People expected that, the coach would take a risk on him, all right, play against Bayern Munich and perhaps lead us towards that victory. However, we did not see him, and that proved to be consequential for the Bayer Leverkusen team and the team that are chasing down top 4 in Champions League football next season. And with that defeat, it left them out of the top 4 this past weekend, which means they have a lot of ground to cover up and to make up within the last 4 games if they want to be playing European Champions League football next season. Now, as for Borussia Dortmund, they had to struggle and work hard for their victory over Hertha Berlin this past weekend. It was an unlikely match winner in Emre Can's solo strike proved to be the difference between the two clubs and earned Borussia Dortmund all the 3 points against Hertha Berlin. Prior to this game, Hertha was expected to push Borussia Dortmund all the way till their backs were against the wall. They'd won 3 games and drawn 2 ever since the restart of the league, which meant they were in pretty good form and confidence was high. Now, Borussia Dortmund thrashed Paderborn by 6-1 the previous week, and we wondered, can they follow up that win with another impressive victory against one of the few sides with the capabilities of actually testing them? We know Erling Haaland, Jadon Sancho was tasked with the responsibility of leading this Borussia Dortmund side against Hertha Berlin. However, he was rather anonymous, which raised questions over his abilities because inconsistency has been a major flaw about his career ever since he burst onto the scene. It was the opportunity of Emre Can to rise up and make headlines. You know how there are those players in each team that, don't make the headlines and are not star players, but without them, you can tell there's a difference, They are the cohesion of that team, they make the system run. And Emre Can is that sort of player, and in this game, he got his just recognition. All right, he played superbly, defensively and attacking-wise. All right, he made everything click on a day where Borussia Dortmund failed to find their footing and failed to flourish in front of goal. He stepped up with a wonderful strike which proved to be the difference and earned his side all 3 points, helping them in their quest to cementing Champions League qualification for next season. Now, with that win, it took Borussia Dortmund back to within 7 points of Bayern Munich, because prior to that game, Bayern had already defeated Bayer Leverkusen, taking them 10 points clear, and with that victory, it cut the gap back to 7. Now, as for RB Leipzig, they hit another stumble in their quest for cementing Champions League qualification against Paderborn. Paderborn were thrashed 6-1 by Borussia Dortmund the previous week, so they had to come up with some sort of redemption, and a 1-1 draw against RB Leipzig, who have been in fine fitto, you should say, in front of goal, was pretty impressive. But for RB Leipzig, it was a nightmarish weekend. All right, that means now stumbled, and the rest of the clubs can find ground, can make up ground upon them. Now, 4 games left. Bayer Leverkusen and Borussia Monchengladbach lost their games as well. Perhaps that makes them safe for now, but who knows? This cannot go on. Inconsistency, just as Borussia Dortmund, has been a major issue for RB Leipzig, and if they don't sort this out within the last 4 games, that could be pretty consequential. Now, kicking off Matchweek 30 was SC Freiburg against Borussia Monchengladbach in perhaps the most shocking game of the weekend. Borussia Monchengladbach fell to SC Freiburg, and with Alassane Pli grabbing a red card in the latter stages of the game. Now, this is another dent for a team chasing down top 4 as well. However, the rest of the teams around them as well were stumbling, such as Bayer Leverkusen and RB Leipzig, which meant that didn't hurt them so much. But in the grand scheme of things, they too need to make sure that in the last 4 games, they find some sort of form and they can go on a roll if they want to keep their top 4 status and be playing UEFA Champions League football next season. So there are 4 games left to play, and Bayern Munich are leading the way in the Bundesliga with 70 points. Borussia Dortmund coming second with 63, while RB Leipzig take up 3rd position with 59 points. Defeats to Borussia Mönchengladbach and Bayer Leverkusen leave them 4th and 5th respectively on 59 points. So in terms of the championship, Bayern Munich are marching on towards an 8th consecutive Bundesliga title, while the other 4 are still entangled in a dogfight for Champions League qualification, so it intensifies with 4 games left to play. So with that, I'd like to end this video. Wish you guys a very good rest of the week. Like the video if you did, and I'll see you guys all next time. Peace out.